Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Like I say, we're not here to save souls. We're here to save your business. If you have a job, we're here to save that. And we definitely have to save our community. Oh my goodness. Boy, 2025 is coming in swinging. I mean, you got to put your dukes up for this 2025, man. It's hitting below the belt, uppercut, like Mike Tyson coming up in here. You got to talk about it. I tell you what, really, I hadn't even planned to do a live show today. See, looking like my casual at wire because I'm like, man, it's cold, it's snowing. Let me just take a day off and chill. But you can't. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that because I saw this symbolism just hit me today. I'm riding to the office, expecting to sit back and run this rerun. And I'm seeing fire on the West Coast. I'm seeing ice on the East. This is just ripe with symbolism. What is going on? Is this some kind of sign of what we can expect in 2025? So today we're going to talk about fire and ice, dealing with the extremes, finding balance so that we can navigate 2025. Man, I'm telling you, snow this week, had to deal with it. But it's nothing compared to these people out in California. I mean, community is being swept up in the firestorm. People losing their homes, businesses, into the thousands. Insurance companies pulling their hair out. Fire and ice. By the way, I'm Robert Gatewood. I'm a business developer by trade. I help people succeed in business. That's what I do. Help you start the business, help you grow the business, help you exit the business. If you have a business, I'm your guy. Nope, I'm not taking clients right now, but one day I may in the near future. But what I do, man, we get results. But what you can do, if you have a question, a burning desire, you can put it in the feed today and I'll answer your question if it pertains to business. And you can also go to my website at gatewoodmarketing.com and just sign up for a free consultation. I'll talk to you. I'll help you throw you a few nuggets. Or you can sign up for one of our classes at Prince George's Community College. I'll be teaching that starting in March. Matter of fact, on March 1st, I'm going to come out of the gate swinging on marketing strategies. Then on March 8th, we're going to talk about PR and communications. Then I'm going into networking. I'm going into... what is the other one? Digital marketing, going into social media marketing and social media strategies. So it's going to be quite a fall. Also on January 18th, I'm going to be doing a forum with the Sisters of 85 Beta sorority. We're going to be doing a town hall on leadership called Leading the Way. Sister Sandra and the group over there, Bradfield and the people over there, glad to be working with them coming up next weekend. That'll be next weekend. You go to marketingpulpit.com. You'll see my entire calendar of where I will be appearing, what I'll be teaching, what I'll be talking about, including the event on January 18th, which is next weekend. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do a live show next Friday. I'll be traveling. Got things to do. I'll be going down to Carolina. Got a couple of singing engagements around the MLK weekend, and I'll be doing the event with the Sisters of 85 Beta. Probably be doing that from the road. So anyway, got a lot going on here. Ah, boy, 2025. Also, besides being a professor, I've written a couple of books. Also working in the government space. This is my mission, my passion, my reason for being. Let's say hello to a couple of people. I see Brother Gerald Brown, the greatest plumber in town. He's a regular listener. Thanks for tuning in, Brother Brown. But anyway, we're going to talk about this fire and ice today. Brother can't, man, it's hard to sleep. What is it? You're going to have plenty of time to sleep when you're gone. So what I'm going to do while I'm on this planet, I got to bring the information. Got to talk about this stuff. Sometimes you got to change your plans. Also, while we're in the discussing dates, this is a great month for the Divine Nine, the nine sororities and fraternities that make up from the historical Black colleges and universities. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, was the Founders Day for Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. That's my fraternity. Also, Brother Bradley Thomas and late Joe Madison, John Lewis, a few other notables have joined that great fraternity. We had the Kappa Alpha Psi. They celebrated their Founders Day on the 5th. Delta Sigma Theta is coming on the 13th. Alpha Kappa Alpha coming up on the 15th of January. And Zeta Phi Beta, that's my sister group, on the 16th. So we recognize these organizations. They are great contributors to our community and uplifting and providing great services all around. And we want to honor them as well as the other groups that are not celebrating Founders Day this month, such as the Iota Phi Theta, Sigma Gamma Rho, Omega Psi Phi, and Alpha Phi Alpha. This is also International Body Wellness Month. Going to celebrate life and financial wellness as well. Get organized. And also, this is National Thank You Month. A lot going on this month. But boy, fire and ice. That's my topic today. That's the theme today. Matter of fact, I'm going to jump right into the news. I also want to thank the people that came out to the first Friday for BLE Executive Suites on last week. We had a great turnout. There'll be another one coming up in February. So go ahead and stay tuned and join us. Glad to have you. Let's talk about some items in the news. Now, the theme today is fire and ice. As I said earlier, I was not going to do a live show today. But boy, when the opportunity hits, you got to talk about these things. We call that context. You got fire on the west, ice in the east. We got to talk about it. Is this some kind of sign? I think so. Nothing happens by happenstance. This life is full of symbolism. We're going to talk about them. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about finding balance. How we're living in the extremes. That's going to be our sermon today. After I get through some of these news items, which is also about fire and ice. Out in California, the death toll is up to at least 10 people. And of course, that number will rise. And the fires have burned 35,000 acres and destroyed 10,000 structures. Are you feeling the magnitude of this? So we sit back in our comfortable homes and get up this morning and turn over in our comfortable beds. Imagine being living in a firestorm is coming your way. And sometimes it's moving faster than you can get out of the way. So that's happening out in California. The schools, structures, homes, businesses, places of worship, gone, just like that. And more than 360,000 people have been ordered to evacuate. And of course, President Biden has pledged federal aid to the firefighting efforts. Man, it's rough out there. That's the fire part. Now, of course, this is creating a terrible insurance crisis. You know, these insurance companies are in it to make money. In case anybody forget that sometimes. You wonder why they fighting you. They're trying to make money. And the companies like State Farm, Allstate are pulling back from California, raising the rates. And so it's a mess out there. Man, that's 2025. But we're going to be all right. That's why we're going to talk about it later on in our show. As we talk about fire and ice, we talk about living in the extremes, how to operate and manage these extremes, and how to find balance. Now, you take this on the West Coast, you got fire. It's like Hades over there. It's like brimstone. Then on the East Coast, this powerful winter storm, throwing snow, sleet, canceling flights. Not just in the East, but in the Southeast, places that aren't accustomed to snow. Places like Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, my home place, and South Carolina. They're experiencing ice. You got fire on one side, you got ice on the other. Is this not symbolic of the world in which we live? Yes, I did have to come on today and talk about this. So I don't have on my usual uniform. Hey, I'm starting to like this though. Kind of cozy. Anyway, fire and ice. Fire and ice. All right, let's do this. I'm not going to be here long today. I had to come on. Got a message for you. Told you. It's the marketing pulpit. We're not here to save your soul. Sometimes we might save your hide. Sometimes we might save your money. Might save your business. Every now and then we might give you some information that might save your life or the life of somebody you love. I'm not your typical marketing guy. I'm just going to tell you. I have a greater calling. I'm not just in it for the money. I'm not out here to show you how to make a fast sale. Matter of fact, that's the opposite of what I do. We don't do fast sales here. We don't trick people out of giving you their money. We show you how to earn it the right way. We make people call you instead of you out here chasing people. But every now and then, we've got to talk about these issues that's facing us. Let me do this. Let me go catch my breath, do some push-ups. Come back in a minute. We're going to talk about this fire and ice. It's crazy. Marketing Pulpit. We'll be back in a minute. We're back. All right, let's jump into this. Fire and ice. So we have on the West Coast, we have fire. 360,000 people displaced. Thousands of businesses, churches, schools, other types of structures, 10,000s have been destroyed. Billions of dollars in damage. On the West Coast, we have fire. That's what we have. On the East Coast, we're seeing fire. We're seeing ice, snow, sleet, rain, hail. But we have not traditionally seen it. Places like Oklahoma, places like Texas. These things are happening simultaneously. People down in the Carolinas, Virginia, Mississippi. They're like, hey, what the WTF? What's going on? Well, what is happening, this is a harbinger of things to come if we don't correct the ship, or right the ship, as they call it. It symbolizes the extremism we see in our political and personal lives. Now, fire and ice are two very powerful elements when you think about it. Fire can be warm, keep you comfy and cozy. You think of it as friendly, chummy. But when it's extreme, it can be quite destructive. It can burn things down, light things up. Cold, ice can be calm, cooling, keeping things mellow. But in the extreme, it can be numbing. It can be destructive. I'd rather have ice under my tongue than under my feet any day. So you're talking about these two extremes. They have their benefits, but they have their minuses as well. Now, this fire and ice are two very powerful extremes of nature. But they also reminds us of the extremes that can exist in our environment in everyday lives. So what we have to do is prepare for these extremities, for these extremes. You're going to spend most of your life, I'm going to say 80%, in the middle, in the norm. If you look at a bell curve, you're going to be at 80%, you're going to be right there dealing with, you're not going to deal with fire and ice every day. But believe it or not, you're going to be judged not by just yourself, but by others on how you react and behave during the times of extremism. Every judge, every mayor, every governor, they always get judged and sometimes run out of office how they handle the snowstorm. Here in the Washington, D.C. area, that's how you determine who's going to be mayor next time, how they handle the snow. That's a symbolic of how our daily lives are judged. Yeah, ain't nobody can handle the good times. You know, when the sun's shining, birds are chirping, yeah, that's easy. But how are you going to navigate the extremes during the fire and ice? We have this political dialogue in our country. The middle ground it just doesn't exist anymore. If it does, it's very small because people are either fire, they're either ice. They're left, they're right. They're red, they're blue. We're living in a society of extremes. And it becomes incumbent upon us to realize that we have to sit down and take stock of how we're going to navigate these times. Not so much on what side you're going to pick, because the side sometimes will just pick you. You've been on social media, you know what I mean. You make one slip of the tongue, or one word didn't come out, or you said something that was ambiguous, you've been thrown into a side, onto an extreme. But we have to be resilient and understand that in the face of adversity, which sometimes symbolized by these extremes, we have to know how to respond, whether it's fire or whether it's ice. Because sometimes this fire and this ice can be beneficial to us. It's an exercise in growth and transformation. Sometimes you might be that catalyst that could bring the sides together. You can be that modelist. You can be that governor. I don't mean like governor of the state, but the moderator. So as we go into 2025, we're not relegated to the position of passive observer. We don't have to let the forces dictate where we fall on the spectrum. We have a brain. We have emotional intelligence. We can decide for ourselves where we decide to fall. As we see these changes, these extremes, you might decide, for one, this might be a good time to look at climate change and how it's impacting us in our lives. We have the deniers. No matter how much fire comes, how many times it snowed in July, they're going to write this off as aberrations, one-offs. But the learned among us, and learned now has become a bad word in this society in which we live now. I never thought I'd live a day where you'd be castigated for being learned, for having knowledge, speaking facts, truth to power. Fire, ice. These are the times we live in. So, as we wrap this up today, as we see the fire on the West Coast, as we see the ice on the East Coast, and we have the people in the middle, just know your time is coming. It may not be fire. It may not be ice in the literal sense, but there's going to come a time where you're going to face adversity. There's going to be a time where you face the extremes. Start preparing now. Just like you don't wait until the rain starts to fix your roof. You don't wait until the fire starts to have water or some type of way to handle fire when it comes. You don't wait till the snowstorm comes to go out and buy a shovel. By that same symbolism, start making preparations in your life for the fire and ice that is sure to come. And that's my story for today. Well, folks, like I said, it's going to be a short sermon today. I just want to get this out here. I thank everybody for tuning in. And I thank Brother Brown and Brother Attorney Bradley Thomas. He put up some very good information here on the screen. These weather extremes are fueled by global climate change. It was reported that on January 9th, 2024, that the previous year, 2023, was the hottest year on record. Last year was even hotter, with 2024 officially declared the hottest year on record, and the first to exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius, 2.7 Fahrenheit, above pre-industrial temperatures. Brother Bradley, you've put it in words that people should live by. So, like I said, we don't have to be a passive observer. We have a role to play, whether it's to tamp down political extremism, whether to be an advocate to protect our environment, whether it's to help somebody else navigate these turbulent times. 2025, I've already made it into a verb. We call it 2025ing. 2025 ing. That's my term. I'm croning it. And I want you to take the message today and layer that into my theme of 2025ing, of taking action and not being a passive observer as we experience this symbolic fire and ice and the storms that are raging around us. We can't sit in that comfortable middle and just sit and wait for it to come to us. Let's be proactive. And that's part of 2025. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm Robert Gatewood. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Bring you the good gospel, marketing gospel. I'll be back next week. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you some marketing pulpit classics next week. We're going to talk again about our 2025ing. We're going to talk about how old keys won't open new doors. We're going to talk about gratitude in the summation of some of the topics we've covered over the past few weeks. It's worth a listen. Also, you might want to share this message for somebody who may be dealing with the storms of life, whether it's fire, whether it's cold, whether it's ice, or if it's just symbolic. Like I said, this is just not a marketing show. It's about making a difference, not only in your business, but in your life. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And we'll be back next week at the same time. And as I say always, if you want to be successful, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work.